Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I want to continue on with my best of 2024 series, and I actually have yet to share any home fragrance favorites from last year, so let's change that today. The way that I want to tackle my home fragrance favorites is essentially by company. So I have a few favorite candle companies that I tend to frequent the most. So let's kick it off today by sharing my top 5 favorite candles or home fragrances from Bath & Body Works in 2024, but there will be other videos coming down the pipeline from Homeworks, from Kringle, from Voluspa, and then I might actually also do just kind of a random candle company compilation as well. While I have enough favorites from a lot of my more frequently shopped with candle companies, that's a weird way to put it, but you know, from my usual suspects, if you will. I also tried a lot of one-offs from, you know, a lot of kind of random candle companies last year as well. So while I might not have enough favorites from each of those random companies to comprise an entire video, I can certainly mention them, you know, in just a little bit of a roundup style video as well. So that will probably be the last video when it comes to the home favorites, but let's kick it off today with Bath & Body Works. So Bath & Body Works is actually a candle company that I still shop with them. I do not shop with them nearly as frequently as I used to in the past. You guys just recently saw my updated candle collection. If you missed that, I'll link that down below. But I really don't have very much in the way of backup candles from Bath & Body Works. The way that I'm going to be shopping with them in the future, and what I've been doing now for, I would say, a couple of years actually, is just to buy what I can actually burn during that given season. I'm a pretty seasonal burner myself. So, and Bath & Body Works tends to be pretty good about re-releasing old favorites year after year. Sometimes they do weird things like don't release autumn again, because why did they not do that last year? Autumn is amazing, but you know, for the most part, we usually tend to get our favorites back every single year. So I don't have this sense of like needing to hoard Bath & Body Works candles. And in all honesty, I don't feel the need to like hoard any candles at this point. If one of my favorites goes away, I'll just find something else that I can enjoy, right? So totally different mentality for me now. But I was really surprised when I was looking through my reviews from Bath & Body Works last year to find that I actually had 5 new to me fragrances that I thought were good enough to mention as new favorites from Bath & Body Works. In some of my other videos, you might see 1 or 2 longtime favorites. But with Bath & Body Works, I was really surprised to actually have enough new stuff to be able to talk about new to me things. So let's go ahead and do that. But believe me, some of my old favorites were still old favorites. I mean, if we're talking Vanilla Balsam, I love it. I was so glad to see that it was re-released for Candle Day this last year. So I'm not going to be mentioning Vanilla Balsam, but do know it's still a favorite. So anyway, I decided to write everything down on the back of my, what is this, my water bill? Yes, this is my water bill. So let's go through this list. We'll talk about the 5 favorites, and then we'll talk about the one not so favorite, the one that made me go, how did this get past quality control? So definitely let me know down in the comments what your favorites were from Bath & Body Works last year. And if you have a least favorite, let me know that as well. So we're gonna go ahead and dig in. The first one that I'm gonna start with is Cozy Sunday Night. And I actually purchased this one in the fall, and it came highly recommended by a lot of you guys. And you are so right. What a beautiful, warm, cozy, just like wrap yourself in a warm cashmere hug kind of fragrance. Beautiful. And the thing that I found really interesting about this particular fragrance is, for whatever reason, even though there is no balsam, spruce, or whatever listed in the fragrance notes, in fact, it had ginger in the fragrance notes, which really is not one of my favorites. But I decided to go ahead and try it anyway. When I lit it, it smelled like the most warm, again, cozy, beautiful holiday tree fragrance. I don't know where the tree note came from. It made no sense that I was smelling it at all, but I smelled it and it was so stunning. In fact, I loved it so much that I decided to go ahead and after reviewing it in the fall, I saved it until Christmas so that I could enjoy it during the holidays as well. If you know me, you know that I do not save candles. Once I light a candle up, I don't put the lid back on it and stick it back in my collection. I don't know what it is. I don't like going into my candle collection when I'm looking for a new candle and pulling out a candle that has already been burned. I don't like it. I don't know why. It's a weird thing, I know. But I decided to go ahead and do that, and I just loved it over Christmas, and I really hope this fragrance comes back in 2025 so that I can enjoy it this holiday, well, this coming holiday season again. All right, the next one I'm gonna mention is pumpkin nut butter. This was kind of one of those like weird limited edition releases that they did last year. I don't think that I ever tried this one originally. I might have, but maybe didn't remember. But oh my gosh, what a delicious, yummy fragrance. I was hoping that it was roasted pumpkin butter, you know, coming back into my life. I have been dying for Bath & Body Works to bring back roasted pumpkin butter, but it was not that. It was just a delicious, warm, nutty pumpkin fragrance for the fall. Really well done, had a great, decent burn from what I remember. It may have ended up in the crock, but it was just so yummy when it was lit. It had a great performance in terms of strength and throw. One thing I will say for Bath & Body Works is I do think that the strength and throw has diminished over the years. It used to be that a 3-wick Bath & Body Works candle could basically fragrance my entire house. They're not quite that potent anymore. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because some of those Bath & Body Works fragrances back in the day, for example, Leaves used to be so intense that like I could leave it lit for like an hour or two, and if I let it go any longer than that, I would get sick. Like it was almost like, it was just too much, right? So now when I purchase Leaves, which is still one of my favorite fragrances, I can actually leave it lit for, you know, 3.5 hours. Typically don't burn Bath & Body Works candles beyond that point anyway, but it's not as overwhelming. So in some cases that's actually been a good thing, but I do think that I've noticed a significant decrease in overall strength and throw from Bath & Body Works. Let me know if you feel the same way. But anyway, back to pumpkin nut butter. That was really delicious, and I love that one in the fall. Let's kind of go back to the summer though. Starfruit Sangria. Man, what a great scent. I actually also had that in the hand wash. It was so just juicy and fruity and delicious. Such a happy summertime fragrance. And it was one that I got a lot of compliments on when we had visitors throughout the time that I was burning that one in the house. Everyone was like, it smells so good, and it just smells like a tropical drink in here. And it really was like a delicious starfruit sangria. Like it wasn't boozy per se, but it did just kind of give off those like happy summertime cocktail vibes, and really, really good. I am hoping, and my fingers are crossed, that I can pick up Starfruit Sangria again this coming summer from Bath & Body Works. I don't have any backups of it. In fact, when I was looking through this list, the only candle that I actually have a backup of, and this shows you how far I've come, is the pumpkin nut butter. I ordered 2 of those because I was, again, hoping it was something else. It wasn't, but it's fine because now I have another one of those for this coming fall, and it was delicious, so it's great. But I do not have a backup of Starfruit Sangria, and kind of wish I did just in case it doesn't come back this summer. But again, crossing my fingers, crossing my toes, crossing everything that I can on my body that this one makes it back to the stores this summer. All right, next, Wild Berry and Ube. Okay, this was so good. What a great fragrance. It just, again, was a fruity and fun and a little bit different type of berry scent from Bath & Body Works. Kind of a little bit creamy in its presentation, but just so delicious. A happy fragrance, something that even my family really enjoyed. Stella really liked that one this past summer. In fact, once we finished it, she was asking if we had another. We did not. So once again, fingers crossed that Bath & Body Works brings it back this summer, because that Wild Berry and Ube was mwah, chef's kiss. I think I remember the burn being a little bit rough on that one after the halfway point. Honestly, a lot of these, I don't think the Starfruit Sangria had the thick wicks, but most of these had the massive tree stump wicks that I absolutely despise, but that for whatever reason are on all of the fragrances that I tend to gravitate towards. I really wish Bath & Body Works would kind of look at their wick situation. If they were just able to find something else other than those thick rope-like wicks that just dud out on me every single time, I feel like I might be a little bit more apt to visit the store a little bit more frequently. But honestly, a lot of times I just get really disappointed by the burn. But all that being said, the fragrance was good enough to excuse the wicks, I guess you could say. Not that I think there should be an excuse for them. Bath & Body Works, look at these wicks. Just, they're not ideal, honestly. And then the last favorite that I want to mention kind of turned into a little bit of a dupe of one of my personal favorite personal fragrances. So the Cherry Blossom and Soju, which was a part of their kind of limited edition collection where they had designers creating fragrances for them, different perfumers and stuff. Anyway, this particular one smelled like, is very, very similar to my beloved Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa. I think it's 62. It's the Boom Boom Cream scent, that one. Just had that beautiful like hint of floral, but then also the like just the tropical vibes as well. That little bit of like that caramel, that pistachio, little bit of that like a coconutty type of vibe in there as well. Just a beautiful, not only home fragrance, but just it's a great personal fragrance as well. But it burned pretty darn good, and it was just the perfect strength and throw. It smelled so good. It was one of the rare candles, again, last year that I actually purchased 2 of, and I went through both of them. And I remember when I finished up the second one, I was a little bummed that I decided not to keep it until this coming summer here in 2025. I'm gonna assume that that one's probably not gonna come back. But all that being said, it definitely was such a great fragrance last year. So those would be my top 5 favorite, like new to me type fragrances. Now, I also tried one that came highly recommended by some of you, and some of you warned me that it was absolutely atrocious. So when that happens, I feel like I almost have to experience it for myself. So I decided to go ahead and try out the Almond Croissant. Listen, if you follow me for my home fragrance content and you watch any of my Scentsy videos, you know that one of my holy grail fragrances from Scentsy is my beloved Almond Croissant. And when I heard that Bath & Body Works came out with an Almond Croissant, I was just, again, hoping, praying to the candle gods that maybe it smelled exactly like the Scentsy version. No. You guys, this was awful. First of all, the burn was atrocious. Thick rope-like wicks. It smelled plasticky. It smelled fake. I don't know how you mess up almond. I feel like almond is a pretty popular home fragrance note, and it just, I've never smelled a version of almond in home fragrance that made me go, ooh, like this, like it was bitter, plasticky, fake, just not authentic in any kind of way. There was absolutely no delicious croissant bakery note either. Like, they just completely missed the mark on this one. And that was one of those videos that was kind of controversial when I shared my review, because some people agreed with me and thought that it smelled really plasticky and fake. And some people were really kind of annoyed with me that I gave it a bad review, that I didn't like it. Obviously, everybody's nose is different. Not everybody's gonna love all of the same things. But this one just really, truly did not smell right to my nose at all. Like, something went wrong. So I don't know if maybe there was some kind of batch variation, but I had purchased a couple of those, assuming, which you shouldn't do, that maybe I would absolutely adore this fragrance. Maybe it smelled exactly like Scentsy Almond Croissant, and that I would be really upset if I didn't have at least one backup of it. Nope, returned it. I burned the one that I reviewed. I also tried to pop it into a candle crock, hoping that maybe it was just like the flame that was like messing with the fragrance. No, smelled that same awful plastic fake, like nowhere near authentic almond croissant. It smelled exactly the same when I put it into the candle crock. So I really kind of think that maybe I got a dud, or something went wrong somewhere along the line, but I did not care for it at all. And it was such a massive disappointment, because again, I was hoping that I would have a candle to accompany my favorite wax melt. Not the case at all. Anyway, guys, those are my top 5 favorites and my one least favorite from Bath & Body Works in 2024. I will be sharing again my other favorite candle companies coming up here. I think next maybe we'll go ahead and tackle Homeworks. So stay tuned for that. If you are not subscribed already and you're interested in more of my home fragrance related content, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button right below the video here. Don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up. And also make sure you let me know what your faves and your least faves were in the comments down below. All right, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.